Okay, so we're gonna start this off. My first question is, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I think I qualify for Barely Alive.
All
I feel
right.
good. Thinking about Daniel Johnson. Thinking about records.
What got you interested in making music?
It's a really good escape from everything, and it's kind of an art form.
All right.
Forget all your troubles. Make music.
What were some of the bands
It's
that you
easy
were
to do.
in?
I was in some bands.
And which one was your favorite?
This one. New band. No. I
Just
don't
for
know.
those people that
I
don't
liked them
know.
all. They were all really good. There's so many of them. How could you really say, you know?
Just name a few.
The first band was Decadence, it's a death metal band. And then came Gothic, high school band. And then my first solo projects, Ravistrav. And then that's teenager years, going further, made another solo album. And then started getting into experimental music. And had stuff I never had names for. A lot of that. And then come back from traveling to Florida. We start Crack Rock Asteroids. We start the Psychedelic band. Someday Maybe. Mayan Calendar. Brotherhood of Neptune. Barnyard. Hayride. Acid Magic. Super Pizza Party. Telepathic Friend.
Green Aura.
Green Aura. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was good. That was really good. Before the internet, so that stuff is
The
only
Holy
on like
Bible.
Holy Bible. Yeah. Organize, Al Qaeda Organize,
Tropic of
Tropic
Cancer.
of Cancer. That's right. Yeah. There's lots and lots of them. I played with Hank El Diablo, played sitar and Del Riba on their album.
Out of all those bands, which one do you have the fondest memories of?
Probably Acid Magic.
Now, are we talking the Acid Magic
First
with
one.
all the... Okay. So not just the you and JPL Acid Magic.
That's not right, but yeah, the first Acid Magic was really good. Yeah, Acid Magic was really good. It was like Jacksonville's first like space. Well, no, because they had some weird shit in the 70s. Because the records are still popping up. But for my time period, we had a modern space rock band. And it was very like Can, but I hadn't yet learned about Can, which is odd. So we're playing music that sounds like Can, but I had not yet discovered Can. And now that I like Can, it's like one of my favorite bands ever. But somehow I was tuned in on that. But we went through a lot of different phases to make it happen. I guess everyone knows the story. I came here from California, and I seen a bunch of weird shit out there. I come here, saw some shit that wasn't that weird, but put together my own weird shit, blah, blah, blah. So later on, it ends up we're doing this shit sounds like Can. I'd never heard of Can yet. And then I find Can, and then I say, you know what? If I had a chance to do it all again, I could do it even so much better because I know about Can now. But that's all beside the point. So what's the next question?
Alright, the next question is, what were some of your biggest musical influences?
Well, I liked punk rock music in California. Van Nuys, California, which is where Vans come from. The shoes, Van Nuys, hence Vans. Anyways, we went to, as a grade schooler, my buddy Paul, his older brother was 7 years older than us, took us to Venice Beach. We saw Red Hot Chili Peppers, Suicidal Tendencies at the skate park and on the fucking strip before they were popular. That was pretty cool. Devo was really big back then. It was the 80s. So there's a lot of good shit and there's a lot of really sucky shit. It just depended who you knew. It was mods versus punks, rude boys, all this stuff. I tried to be on both sides because I like both of the styles. And then I saw that weird guy that was me in the past, that would be me in the future. I saw him and I followed him to here where we are now, which I've told that story a lot of times. I saw the guy in the hobby shop. I said, I really think this guy's pretty cool. There was something about him, and it was me, or it was who I would later be or model myself to be. So it's kind of a little off kilter, but okay. So we skip from there. What's next?
All right. Tell us a little bit about the books you've written or are working on.
I made the books, unfinished books over there, all kinds of stuff. So much, the books. Some people know about the books, some people don't know about the books. There's not much I can say about the books.
A lot of people know that you make music, but not as many
Books
people
are
know
always-
that you're also an author of over
yeah, the whole author
5
thing, yeah.
books.
That just happened to be, I mean, like, if you're a multimedia artist, then you like trying to jack of all trades, master of none. So say, I'm going to make these avant-garde books that don't have anything to do with regular books. So we did it. And my wife at the time helped me. And I did most of it. I mean, it really is all me, but like she gave me inspiration and edited it because I'm not very good with English. I got a lot of misspelled words. So she fixed the misspelled words, which was good. But all the art and everything, the production and how it all came, 99.999, it's all me. She's my editor. But we did make the books. And I don't even have any of the books, so I'd really like to see one of the books. I wish I could find one of the books. Maybe I think I have one buried. But we did make a whole bunch of real books and a bunch of zines. I was ahead of the game with the whole zine thing, which got trendy later on. The whole zine thing. And we were making zines that came with cassettes and zines that came with dried fish and zines that came with mushroom chocolates and all this weird shit. We called it an art project, but I'm not really so sure what it was. It was next level shit that never really came back around to be, which is why I got mad, because I was always thinking that if someone wanted to trump me and they wanted to take me out of the game, which is a whole other story of how they took me out of the game, that's a whole other story. But they never really took me out of the game because you'd have to take the game out of the game, and you can't take the game out of the game, and I always win, so I don't know how it works. It might be the patron saints, it could be anything, but yeah, it never stops, and it's still going, obviously, but it just goes in a different way, and I can't expect for everything to be what it was, because when it was what it was, it really was what it was, and I know that sounds like it sounds, but if you think about it, and you study it, and you apply it to yourself, you realize that you totally had it when you had it, and you know what I'm saying, so there's no need to elaborate that any further. Next question.
All right. So most people that know that you are a guitar player, but can you tell us a little bit about some of the other instruments you play in your musical
that's
spectrum?
a fascinating question, yeah. Theremin for sure. Sitar, there's a sitar over there. I like steel guitar and lap guitar. You're going to buy me one for Christmas, and then I'll have my own, but I like to play other people's. Vibraphones, marimbas, kalimbas, guiro, congas, bongos, tongos, 12-string guitar, double neck guitar, build your own instruments. There's a fucking diddly bow I made over there, broken instruments, just pots and pans, whatever, ham bone. Yeah, anything, beating on the floor, just play whatever. Yeah, anything, whatever, play whatever. You could be your own instrument, play silence if you want to. All kinds of stuff, tick-tock, the clocks. Anything, it sounds kind of funny, but I mean, like, you got to consider, like, before they had anything that they have, they still had stuff, so they've always had stuff, so they've always had everything has always existed, and you can play it all if you really want to. Yeah.
And we all know you're very good at playing the prairie squid.
It's quite possible to play the prairie squid, but you would always want to do that in secret, and you would never want anyone to know how you do that. For all you subgeniuses out there. Next question, please.
All right. What are you listening to these days?
Psychedelic Christian folk music and old Jimi Hendrix and the OCs and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Definitely Ty Segall, Paul McCartney. My music. I'm always thinking about my music and listening to my music in my head. I've been listening to it a lot. Anything record store day releases because we collect records. And we have so much music to listen to, it's not even funny. But my favorite thing to listen to is the music that I come up with in my own head. And I probably wrote about 8 songs today, and I probably wrote about 5 songs yesterday. And they're really fleeting and they're passing, and I don't catalog them and keep them, but I got them. And one song, because we waited in line for 16 hours for record store day, is all about waiting in line for records, and you hope you get the good record. And I wrote a whole song about it, but I didn't keep it. I let it go because I don't keep my songs right now. But I think that if I catalog them in my mind, that I get to keep them somehow, like how the Egyptians get to keep their stuff in Pharaoh's tomb. Next question.
What does the future hold for your music? What's in store?
Well, I was watching. If you really want to talk about that, I'll be brief, but I'll tell you. I was watching this thing, and it's like the next 200 years of music on YouTube, and I don't think they got it right because you don't know what the next bit of music is. But I definitely still want to do the wizard guitar thing. I want to do the psychedelic Santa Claus fucking thing, and I'm all about Christmas music and Christmas religion and all that, you know. And I want to have another space rock band, of course, and definitely my fucking Lost Hip Hop album and my folk records, got like back catalog of original music, 10 albums deep that is yet to be released. All the music I made is lost in space. The Pink album, where is it? It's floating around here somewhere. Anyways, it's coming out soon. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's definitely going to be something. It might take a hot minute because everybody knows that like everything's been pushed back because of COVID. So 2020 was supposed to be this big breakthrough year, which is really interesting and something we don't talk about a lot, that was going to be my big breakthrough year, but it didn't happen. And that doesn't mean I won't have a breakthrough year, because every year for me is a breakthrough year, just like every year for everybody is a breakthrough year. Every year is a breakthrough fucking year. I mean, there's just no getting around it. Prove me wrong and let me know, man. Send it to me, man. I don't know. I'm really looking for the answers but yeah, so that's that. But lots of music, definitely lots of music to come, 100%. And what's really cool is if like you could be in my mind and you could see what I think all the time. I've got jams, like the best jams. I made like the baddest jam in my mind the other day. And I've thought for like at least like 8 years that like all these songs I come up with in my mind and the orchestrations, and they're so rich and Brian Wilson-esque, really, really big time stuff. It's going to be with me. And if your whole life really does flash before your eyes when you die, then I get all these jams too that I come up with. Because if your whole life flashes before your eyes when you die, then the part of my life where I made up all these jams and I'm just cruising and killing time, I get all those jams, and that's one of the things I think about when I make them. I don't necessarily think about like people liking them and getting popular or getting famous or getting laid or getting high. I just think, hey, I really do think that. And it sounds like I'm fucking around, but that really is the truth. And if I've told you anything tonight, that's the biggest one. So that's why I don't really care about being famous, because like most people are stupid, and like it wouldn't really matter if they liked you or not, because like who the fuck are they and where the fuck have they been this whole time? So by the time you get to where I'm at and you've made all this for yourself, the stuff you're making for yourself, it doesn't really apply to anyone anymore, which cancels out the relevance of why you do this interview. But if you just want to hear my ideas on what I think, honestly, about what they're asking me, well, then I'll tell you, which is what I agreed to. So next question.
That brings me to my final question.
Okay.
And it's just simply, Did you enjoy this interview?
Yeah, the interview was good. I think you did good. I think I did good. Not too much drama, not too much abstraction. I got to think about what I wanted to say, and I said it, and I really mean it. I stand behind everything I said 100%. It was a really good interview, and I don't really understand what good it would do for anyone else aside from you or I, because you already know what I was going to say, and I already knew what I was going to say. But I didn't know, and you didn't know, but we do know, and it just happened the way it happened, which all made sense, which is what it was going to be anyway. So, but to people on the outside, I'm not really sure what they think, but that's not really my, you know. So what's funny is like, it won't probably have relevance for a long, 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 long time, but in the grand schematic and scope of everything in the Jacksonville music scene and art scene and whoever I am and whatever all this is and however real the simulation is or whatever you want to consider it, it might have some potency at some point or another, but I'm not so sure how effective it is in the immediate circumstance. So with that, I'll say good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, why? Why not?